Hello and welcome once again to Glad Tidings. Today I'm joined by Richard West from Meaningful Planet, one of our amazing brand partners. And Richard and I are here in Camley Street in King's Cross, right in the heart of London, but you would not know it. It's a wildlife centre, and we've come to talk about Meaningful Planet, what you do, what it is, and about the amazing saving that they're giving to you guys, Glad members. So Richard, welcome to Glad Tidings. Great to be here with you.
Thank you very much, Ben. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, thanks for inviting us down. What you've got as a background, and you'll probably hear people walking past. As I say, we're in the heart of London, and we've come to Camley Street and the Wildlife Centre because it's one of the places that Meaningful Planet contribute to. So we need to understand that. But first of all, what is Meaningful Planet? What do you do? Who do you do it for? Tell us all about it.
Beautiful. Thanks, Ben. And it's great to be here and be on one of the projects and nature reserves that we support. So what is Meaningful Planet? We're an alternative mobile provider. So we give access to our customers to SIM-only deals. We also offer devices, but we're a little bit different to the mainstream that's out there on offer for a few reasons. I'll explain those for you because not many people will know yet. But number one is we firstly want to look after our customers as if they were our friends or family. And that means transparent pricing, no erroneous overcharges, making sure we don't increase pricing throughout contract lengths, and offering generous discounts as well to make sure that we are competitive for our customers. Secondly, we want to make sure that they have the best experience possible and have the access to the best network. We are powered by the EE infrastructure, which is the fastest and most reliable network in the UK. And that's very important for us. But thirdly, we wanted to create a proposition for our customers that had a positive impact on the planet. Now, there's something slightly different to that in the way we are trying to achieve that. It's not through having something in a different country or different continent on the other side of the world that we have impact on. It's having impact on something that you can feel, you can visit, you can understand.
Almost like this.
Exactly. So the way we've done that is we've partnered with 5 of the UK wildlife trusts. We've handpicked projects with those trusts all around the country. And we take 10% of every customer's bill. So as soon as they pay a bill, 10% of that is put aside to then funnel into the projects like this. And through that donation, we're then having a tangible impact on how that project is being run and improving the biodiversity, improving the carbon capture, or improving the nature restoration, such as here in Camley.
Fantastic. Wonderful way to demonstrate using business for good, right?
That's exactly right.
Fantastic. Yeah. Wonderful. Why wildlife? Let's start there.
Well, I've always been a bit of an outdoor geek. I've always loved being outside, always loved camping, being outside in nature. For me, I feel some sort of connection to the world without being too weird, to the universe, being close to nature. I feel it's our natural habitat, and we lose a sense of that when we are surrounded by bricks and mortar and in cities and towns. And I think that with the climate crisis that we have on our hands, protecting nature on our own doorstep is fundamental to how we tackle it. I think having a local impact and creating spaces for people to come and visit for free is vitally important for the ecosystem across the UK. And before we started Meaningful Planet, I've always visited wildlife trust reserves with my family, with my daughters, and I love what they do, and I love how they preserve land and preserve nature. I think it's vitally important for us as human beings at the end of the day.
Wonderful. So the thing that you mentioned when we first met really resonated with me, and I think it's the thing that will ultimately stand you apart, because contributing 10% of your revenue is no mean feat, and we'll get into that in a moment. But the way you described it was that this has to be a good product first and do good second. And you mentioned that you're backed on the EE network. My understanding is that's the most expensive network to sit on. There's lots of ways in which you could have done this, but you've chosen to do it with EE. So I'd love to understand why. I've kind of given a spoiler as to why, but it's because it's a good product first and allowing you to do good. I'd love you to talk some more about that.
You're dead right. And what was important when we set the business up was we didn't want a sustainable option to be any worse than any other option that was out there on the market. So what I mean is if you partner with an inferior network and you're sustainable, okay, you're getting a sustainability benefit and you're helping contribute towards the climate crisis, but you're getting inferior service. We consciously wanted to choose the very best network that had the best speeds, best coverage for our customers, and give sustainability. We don't want compromise on the effectiveness of our products just because we are sustainable. And, it is tough to try and balance the revenue donation along with having superior service, but that is basically what we are offering our customers.
So how do you find that? How can you afford to do 10% to restoring wildlife when your major rivals don't? Are they just getting rich? Are you got some secret sauce? How have you found that? And have you found that challenging?
It's very challenging because we are a commercial business as well as having our sustainability focus, and balancing those things is a challenge. And that's why there's not many businesses that are actively out there doing that. Now, the distinct advantage we have is because we've started in the last 2 years, we're able to take advantage of the new technologies that are available to build our tech stack, which are more efficient, faster, leaner, which enables us to give brilliant service to our end users, but not have big bloated service teams or sales teams or engineering teams. We keep things really lean in the back end, and that enables us to keep costs down. And that is what allows us to give our 10% revenue donation back to the trusts.
Got you. But yet, just to keep challenging you on it, because I absolutely love what you're doing, and I want more businesses to do it. Not necessarily competing with you, but in different sectors. It's taking a commodity product and turning it into doing something that's good. But you're early stage, as we are, and you're at a point to scale this, you're going to need investment. And investors typically frown upon things like this because it's always been about profit. And giving away some of your profits, giving away 10% of revenue must be a challenge for them. Or have you found a pocket of investors that are actually open to this kind of new model?
You're dead right. It is challenging from an investment raising or a capital raising perspective, which is why it's really important for us as a group and as founders to pick the right investors. Luckily for us, sustainability is still on the agenda out there for VC firms, capital firms, and it still is a distinguishing factor on how you acquire customers and what value you're providing back to them. It's not just about the core service. We believe in providing more than a core service. And we think it is a market differentiator that will make us different and stand out as well as doing good. So there is, luckily, still people out there willing to back ventures like ours, even though we are being generous with our donations.
And generous to Glad members too. So we should definitely talk about that. And in fact, I think it'd be useful to talk about the journey and the history of that, because Richard and Nick, the other co-founder of Meaningful Planet, you were one of the first guys in, one of the first brand partners, one of the first conversations we had when we started introducing climate savings. And you got it straight away. You just could see immediately that this would be a good route to acquire customers for you, and that what we're doing really aligns with what you're doing and is a good initiative. So thank you, first of all, for coming on board to start with. When you did, you came on at 15%. And so for clarity, that is 15% of any plan, any of the tariffs that you have forever. So a lifetime discount.
Right.
And that was amazing. That was a brilliant start. But you've now gone one better. And you've just recently upgraded that to 25% off. Brilliant, delighted. Tell me why the increase, and if you can, explain why you're supporting this, why you're giving that discount to Glad members.
Firstly, working with you is a pleasure, and working for Glad members is a pleasure. We have a couple of aims when we partner with organizations and a couple of things that we look for. And the first thing is having a shared sense of purpose, vision, and strategy. And we definitely share that. When we looked at setting up Meaningful Planet, we felt that we did some research with consumers actually, and everybody knows there is a climate crisis we have on our hands, but not everybody knows what they can do about it. Besides from recycling, buying refurbished goods, buying secondhand clothing, and reducing your consumption of goods, it's quite hard to know what else you can do beyond that. So what resonates with us is you're creating a platform for people like me and you to be able to have a tangible impact on that climate crisis in a positive way and get something back for it. So this is where we have a shared alignment and shared vision. So first of all, that's why, and we pick partners that we really have that shared vision with, and shared sense of purpose. So that is firstly. On the capability to provide extra savings, I work in the background very closely with our partners that we use to provide our services to the end users. And that includes how much our Meaningful Planet pay for the services to then pass on to customers. So what I do in the background is negotiate pretty hard to get the best deal for not only Meaningful Planet, but also our end users. So recently we were able to negotiate a discount from our wholesaler. And what we've simply done is pass that on to partners like yourself to provide higher levels of discount over the lifetime of the contracts or for the lifetime that the customer remains with us.
So basically, the reason you can go to a bigger discount, 25%, is because of your negotiation skills.
I wouldn't, not all me.
Claim it. And so as a Glad member, if you're paying your £5 a month and you use Meaningful Planet for your mobile network, and switching is super easy, it's a standard pack code change, you can effectively get Glad for free. That £5 still goes directly to the climate pot. And the reason it would be free is because of the saving from the 25% from the tariff that you would be on with the Meaningful Planet network. So a wonderful saving, delighted to have that. So just thank you very much.
You're welcome, Ben.
So as we've touched on, Glad is all about incentives. You were saying there that what we're building with Glad is not just the ability to make it easier for people to take climate action. And you're absolutely right. People don't know what to do beyond recycling or just nipping out and installing solar. I mean, it's just not always achievable for people. But the other reason people don't act is the need of that incentive, which is why we focus on climate savings. So if everything we're about is an incentive to drive climate action, I'd love to know what you'd love to see as an incentive to drive action within the broader community. It could be about the climate and the atmosphere. It could be about rewilding, or the things you're seeing that you kind of wish was out there that you'd also love to back.
There's lots of things I'd love to back, and there's lots of charities in the UK that we'd love to back, but what we want to do is have meaningful contributions to less rather than spreading ourselves too thin, especially in the initial stages. What I would love to see from a kind of meta point of view is higher levels of education. I don't think we do enough in the UK to educate the end users, the consumers like me and you, on what the impact of our actions is and how we can make better consumer decisions. For example, if you go onto a comparison site today and look at the different products on offer, there's no filter on there to say who is the most sustainable or what their carbon impact is, or are they a B Corp or not. I'm sure this may come in the future. But when it comes down to making decisions as a consumer, it's still a bit of a race to the bottom, and we're all looking to save as much as possible. Now, pairing the two is a brilliant initiative that you have created, but I think there needs to be more general awareness on how us as consumers can change our behavior in a micro way that can then impact the macro environment of climate and sustainability. I think that really needs to happen from, I don't really want to stand on a soapbox and preach, but, from government policies, from what happens in our schools, from, I think there needs to be a bigger push on that.
More awareness, more education. I'm with you. Absolutely. Okay. So tell me, what's next for Meaningful Planet?
Next is we want to create a lot of community engagement with the projects that we have.
Yep.
So if you do become a Meaningful Planet customer, you will see some information about how you can attend some of the projects that you're contributing to. We mean it when we say we want people to feel, smell, touch, see, feel, and understand their tangible impact they're having by being on our network. That's a big initiative that's coming in the new year. And we're also looking at other products to bring on to the platform, not just mobile SIMs, but also travel SIMs and data-only SIMs options as well. So that's what's coming in the future. We also want to upgrade our app as well to be even smarter and more capable for our end users.
Amazing. Well, Richard, it's been wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting us down to what is a beautiful park, which I'm just going to imagine is all funded by you and your customers.
Not quite.
And, but no, it's great. And it's been really good to chat.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank
Appreciate
you so
it.
much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Until next time. Thanks, guys.